Memphis or New York. And I don't feel the same way about the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers get to the finals this year. Probably next year, maybe next year, but they have some teams to leap over. You're still gonna have to go through the 3-5 at the moment Los Angeles Lakers. You're still gonna have to go through the ever almighty Oklahoma City Thunder, and like we talked about earlier, you're gonna have to go through the Memphis Grizzlies. They did that last year. I'm not so sure they can do it 2 years in a row, but if it did come down to a 7-game series with Miami and LA, it would sure be a heck of a series to watch. It'd be one of the most fun finals to watch ever. But I still pick Miami just because they have so much experience together as a unit, and I really think that, in a 7-game series, at this point right now, unless some other team improves dramatically and the Lakers get something figured out or something like that, I just don't see Miami being beaten in a 7-game series by
I,
anybody.
I have to agree with you. Sorry for the beeping noises, you guys and Chris. But going back to your point, just I agree with your fair share of lost games that the Heat will have. Just the Heat are not going to be as good as they were last year, to be honest. Who cares if they picked up Rashard Lewis and Ray Allen? Who cares? They're not going to be as good. They have a big, big target on their backs this year, especially winning the NBA title last season. Just think about that. Just put your head
Yeah,
back and think
I
about
agree with that.
just
I agree with that. Every time Miami plays a ball game, the team that they're playing against is going to give them their best shot because they are the hated Miami Heat. They are the team with the targets on their back. They are the team that's trying to defend their championship. That's going to be a lot harder to do this year. The team's going to go through adversity like they have the last 2 years. You might not think they're as good as they were, but I still think that they're one of the best in the NBA.
I gotta believe you right there, and that's about it, really. Chris, thanks for being on my show. There was a little bit of a technical problem on the first part of our little discussion, but I gotta restart it up again, and we're all good. The show's still going perfectly fine. And Chris, thank you for being on my show again. Any final words?
No, just thanks for having me.
All right, Chris. Everybody, that's Chris Sylvester from Chris's Corner. Thank you for being on the show, Chris, and I'll talk to you later. All right then. But there's my phone. Okay. Sorry, guys. I had technical difficulties, or I just put the show on mute for about 20 minutes. So I'll give you a recap on pretty much what we were talking about. I forgot to turn off the mute button, so don't tell anybody because I'm just saying it right now. Pretty much we were talking about 3 games. We were talking when I started up again. We were talking about the Heat and the Clippers game. We're just talking about how the Heat could possibly not be in a 7-game series. And then the Clippers do a really good job to hold off the Heat. They have good history recently against the Heat at Staples Center, winning their last 4 appearances. The Clippers winning their last 4 games against the Heat at Staples Center. Also, we're talking about the Grizzlies Thunder game. That was a really good game to really talk about. Unfortunately, I put it on mute and I'm really pissed off right now. But really, we're just talking about how the Grizzlies have been red hot. The turnovers were very low, obviously. The Thunder, led always by Kevin Durant. I think that if they still had James Harden, I think that the problem that I think that if they still had James Harden, Harden would be perfect on their team right now. I think that the big three will be perfectly fine, short term and long term for the Thunder. But since he got traded to the Rockets, I think that that's going to be a big hole to fill, especially for Kevin Martin, who went to the Thunder in the trade between Houston and Oklahoma City. So hopefully Kevin Martin will get into his role pretty soon, or it's going to be a problem for the Thunder if they want to go far into the playoffs this year. And then Pacers and Bucks, not a big game to really talk about, but we had a good discussion about how Brennan Jennings has really rose up to his standards. his career in the NBA, and then obviously the trade of Monte Ellis and Epe Udo going to Milwaukee for Andrew Bogut, and how the pieces of the puzzle for Milwaukee are really coming together now, and I consider them a playoff contending team. But anyway, guys, I'm not ending my show yet. If you guys can finally listen to me, pretty much, I have my chat box open. Questions are open to be asked and will be answered on the show, quote unquote. It's right there. I'll put my number on there if you guys want to just, um, you know, ask a question. Um, you know, you guys can call me. I can put you on the put you on the show, and we can just have a good discussion on whatever you guys want to talk about. And I can hopefully I'll get some of those, and I'll just do a commercial break right now. Sorry guys for the mute thing. I really regret it. But when we come back, is going to be pretty much I'll talk a little bit some news around the association. Plus, hopefully, I get some questions I can answer on the show. When we come back to NBA Weekly on Spreaker.com.
You want my styles like Hierro, dancing on my words on the edge of Sombrero. The gringos, sick flows, yes, the cockatoid. Kill Agnes with a glance from the pupil of annoyed. My mic stored in underwear drawers of my dresser. Rhymes from True God, yours is child of Melissa. A lowercase G hanging under the bar. My G's above and beyond and shining bright from afar like North Star. Guided me to Gibson, the Major, Dr. Stranger. Like Blase Blah bringing danger. Infermos of Harmonico sick. Stand tall, surfing ink from Bic. Push the click, now I'm running. Leading down the L-pen shaft and spin a phonograph to exercise a paragraph. Epitaph from killing off the flesh for 808. A low frequency to give you something to hate. We tie words up tight with lies.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to NBA Weekly here on Spreaker.com in affiliation with the national sports radio station here on Spreaker.com. And we are about to go to the final stage of today's show. We're getting close to the 1 o'clock time in the East Coast and the 10 o'clock time in the West Coast here in California. I'll give you some updates on the games currently in progress. First, let's go to the game that a lot of people like to talk about and hear about. Clippers and Heat in the fourth quarter, and the Clippers have run away with it. The Clippers starting the quarter with a 10-2 run. They're beating the Heat. 95-76. A really good third quarter for the Clippers. Got them back in the game, and they're pretty much going to run away with this as the quarter continues. And let's go to Oracle now in Oakland, California, as the Warriors and the Hawks are playing against each other. And it's 86-79 after a minute 25 in the fourth quarter. David Lee leading the way still for the Warriors as he has 18 points. Barnes still with 12 rebounds. It's now 86-82. We have the games are just keep going faster and faster with the refresh. 88-82 with 55 seconds to go in the fourth quarter as the Warriors have a 6-point lead as the Hawks take a timeout. And as we about to wrap up their show, let's give you some more news around the association. Let's continue with Los Angeles as the Lakers will have Steve Nash on the bench for a little bit more time. Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni obviously reunited after D'Antoni flew over to Los Angeles to accept his job and to begin his tenure in Los Angeles. But the thing is, Nash is still injured. Steve Nash has missed the Lakers' past 6 games after suffering the injury in the second game of the season, but he already has returned to the practice court to do individual dribbling, shooting, and agility exercises. Nash said before the Lakers' 84-82 loss to the Spurs, quote, "There's progress. We made progress. Sometimes you got to rely on Mother Nature too. I mean, it is a fracture. So got to wait for that to heal a little bit before I can do a lot." End quote. the player filling in the spot for Nash for the first 5 games of the, C. Blake, who's been taking over Nash, in the starting lineup for the first 5 games of the season. He's also injured. He did not play today because of a minor abdominal strain. And we quickly have a question from Jake Nelson on the Knicks. Are the Knicks the best team in the NBA right now? I'll get to that in just a second, but I want to finish the Lakers topic. Blake is listed as day-to-day. He initially suffered the abdominal strain November 4th in a game against the Pistons before abrogating it over the weekend against the Kings. Blake will see Dr. Stephen Yoon, and the exam revealed the strain they had on from an ultrasound performed by Dr. Yoon. And pretty much the Lakers are screwed in the point guard position as their starting one. For now, Darius Morris is averaging 4 points per game and is not really doing a lot to replace both Blake and Nash. Let's go to that question that Jake Nelson asked. Are the Knicks the best team in the NBA right now? So I can actually agree with that. You know, they're 5-0. They haven't played as many games as other teams have. They've only played 5, but still, they're doing a great job. They're led by a great coach. Mike Goodson is doing a great job at Madison Square Garden, really having a good team this year. Amari Stoudemire's healthy, not breaking glass like he did in the playoffs last year. Carmelo Anthony is doing really well to start the season. They don't have Lynn Sandy. They don't have all that media attention that they have with Lynn Sandy now, like they did last year. Their division is particularly easy this year, especially the fact that Toronto is not that good, Philadelphia isn't that good. Boston, I can say that Boston might not make the playoffs this year. That's my opinion. I think that the two teams from New York, Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Knicks are going to make the playoffs this year out of the Atlantic Division. And New York is they're doing a good job. Their differential in points for each other, points for the Knicks, points against the Knicks have gone towards the Knicks side. They have a 15.6 point differential on their side. But hopefully the Knicks can continue their success as the season really gets into full swing. Let's go to Minnesota, where there are injuries. Timberwolves will be missing 3 players as they play the Bobcats. Well, they're playing the Bobcats, but they lost Brandon Roy as he sat down on Wednesday night as he prepared to sit out another game with a sore right knee. Also on the bench, that's terrible. Look at this. Look at this list. This is great. I should say, Roy is one of the staggering 6 players currently sidelined for the Wolves. J.J. Barea, which they picked up in the offseason from the Dallas Mavericks, sprained his left foot. Nikola Pekovic, it's hard for some international players for me, sprained his left ankle. Both are out against the Bobcats. Chase Bundinger is out for 3 to 4 months after having surgery on his left knee. Kevin Love broke his right hand. Ricky Rubio tore his left ACL. They're not going to make their season debuts until sometime in December. Okay, Wolves, you have a problem. I consider you a playoff team with all your stars like Kevin Love and Ricky Rubio. If you do not have that, you're going to not do well at all. You guys are going to really blow this year. It's going to be a long season for the Timberwolves, as I have high expectations for them. Really high expectations. And they're playing the Bobcats. Not a big deal. But the thing is, they lost to the Bobcats at home. Bobcats are 4-3. Hallelujah. They have 4 wins. They had just 9 wins all last year. You know who's doing some work out there? Michael K. Chris. And finally, you know who's doing some work is Kemba Walker. Finally. Thank you. Bobcats are going to do good this year. At most, they get 35.